Hi everyone, we are going to discuss one of the most used methodologies in the IT field to develop a project, and that is Agile methodologies. We can say it Agile methodologies is process that we study in software development lifecycle, or we can also say that it is a kind of project lifecycle. Agile methodologies basically tells how a project is going to start, be in the phase of execution, and how it will finally deliver to the client. Okay, so in this video we are going to discuss each and everything about Agile. You can know that Agile is the most used technology process in the software development. Now in IT companies, Agile is mostly used methods. Why? In this video, we'll discuss all the major points about Agile methodologies that will help us to know that what exactly Agile methodologies is and why companies are using this technique to get their project done. Okay, so let's start with the definition of Agile methodologies. Agile is a software development methodology that focuses on delivering small functional parts of a project in short iterative cycles. It means, let's suppose you have a bigger project having 10 or 12 features. Let's say client has some expected date to complete the project is like for 1 year. But in agile methodologies, we break down each features in the smaller individual components, and iteratively we develop every features in every cycle. Once one feature is done, we'll work on another feature and so on. So let's say a project having 10 features given to us, we as a team decide which is the most important features according to the client to be delivered. We take that feature and then work on that on sprint. Basically, sprint is a timeline which we decide what features needs to be implemented, who are going to be worked upon, and what is the day limit, in how many days we are going to complete that particular feature. So if the client has an expectation that their project might takes 1 year or 2 years according to the features, in agile we give them few features in a very less time so that they can ready with the market. And after every iteration we are keep on updating every features one by one so that they don't have to wait for a long time. Basically this is agile. So we break the project, we break the software into smaller individual components, and then we will develop it in a iterative manner. Means one feature at a time. Once it was done, deployed to the production, then we'll work upon the another feature. So to work on one feature, we'll have to specify everything based on there are so many roles and so many things we discuss that before doing any project, what are the things we have to keep in mind before developing that particular feature of that project. Okay, so it emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and customer satisfaction through continuous delivery and feedback. What does this line means? Flexibility, it means we have different teams working on different projects, so we don't have to be tightly coupled with another feature. So it is flexible to work upon each and individual components. Every team is independent about what they are going to work upon. Collaboration is important because when we are working with agile methodologies, we as a team, we have whatever with the requirement of that feature. Let's say it will take one front end member, two back end member, three QA member. So everybody is there. We'll work together. We'll build the team, and in a collaborative manner we'll develop that project. And this is how, once you are following the right standard, doing the right practice, the customer satisfaction is always be there. So agile methodologies is a very fine tuned way of creating the project so that customer is satisfied with the continuous delivery, and feedback is also implemented. Let's say we don't took the whole year to implement every features, and now we are delivering the project to the client after 1 or 2 year. What if there are some fault, maybe the client don't like it, so we need to do the changes on the overall system. So, and if we develop the project into smaller magnitude, smaller parts, if there is any feedback, we can easily implement it on our side. Okay. So, once we deliver one feature, continuous delivery means, let's say a project having 10 features, we'll deliver the first features, and after that we'll work on second features, and back to back we are going to be deliver, so that the client is also ready in the market using their product, and one by one we are going to deliver it continuously, and whatever the feedback is there we're going to implement in our the rest of the features. Okay. Now we have two common agile frameworks, that is Scrum and Kanban. So depending upon your project, depending upon the company, the framework may changes, but as you can see, Scrum is the mostly used agile framework in the IT market. Okay. Now take a look on this figure. This is basically agile. This is explaining what exactly uh, agile methodology is and how it works. So there are various points like product owner will look after the project, uh, talk to the client, discuss the functional requirements, give us the requirement, discuss with us that what are the features is implemented on the first cycle. So there are various steps. Sprint planning meeting is there, the team is there who is going to build this project, who is going to uh, execute the feature. Now the sprint backlog is there, means the project breakdown is there. Now the team is building the project, and now this circle means every features is working, going on iteratively. One by one we are going to going in a iteration to develop that particular feature. Okay. Now we have scrum master as well. All right. So scrum master basically gives uh, what we are going to develop. So again, there are lots of things we'll have to keep in mind. Now we are going to discuss each feature one by one. Whatever the terms listed out here, we are going to discuss it in detail, that what exactly is product owner, what is their work, and what is product backlog, what is team, and everything we are going to discuss in this video. So let's start with what is the work of product owner. Okay, let's go with it. Who is product owner? Basically, product owner is a key role in Scrum or any agile methodology framework. Product owner is responsible for maximizing the value of the product. They act as a bridge between stakeholder, business customers, and the development team. So, product owner is just the person in our company who talks to the client, understand the requirement, uh, discuss what exactly they want to make, what are the requirements they want in their project, and they are the member who externally deals with the clients and the external environment. That let's say if you developed a project and it has some error, the client is not there come there to tell you the team that what is the problem into it. They'll communicate with the product owner that this is the fault, this is the problem in this project. So product owner is someone in the company who basically deals with the clients, discuss the requirement, what project we want to create, what is the actual functional requirement of the project, how we are going to create it, what is the feature that is mostly needed so that we can deliver it first. So these are the things that a product owner will do. So here is listed some key responsibility of the product owner, like owns the product backlog. So product backlog is basically product owner listed all the things, all the features that is going to be in that project. That is basically product backlog. Product backlog is basically detailing point by point steps what we need to develop and what is the actual functional requirement of that project. That is basically the product backlog. Product owner will write everything in the product backlog, that what we need to make, what are the features we are going to implement, and what are the functional requirements, what is the exact requirement of the client. That is basically product backlog. Now, second thing, prioritize work based on value. As I said, product owner is the person who communicate with the client. So based on their communication, product owner knows what is important according to their business goal, which is the important feature which will work uh, for the for the first iteration to deliver them, so that the important thing will be delivered to the client, so that they can also be in the market, whatever their business goals should be met. Okay. Now, defines the product vision. What does it mean? Product vision means whatever we are going to make, whatever will be our project, we are going to define it, that what is our project, what it is going to target, to whom is going to target, what is the strategy, and what are the goals. So basically, product vision is something which clearly tells about the project, that what we are going to achieve, what is the target of that project, what are the key things that we need to implement. So these things are known to the product owner, and using some agile methodologies, uh, tools, basically project management tools, a product owner creates a product backlog where each and every information about the project is listed, so that everybody knows what we are going to achieve, what we are going to make. So this is about product owner and product backlog. Okay. Now we have sprint planning meeting. So what is a sprint planning meeting? So a sprint planning is the kickoff meeting for a new sprint in Scrum. It's where the team collaboratively decide what work will be done in the upcoming sprint and how they will do it. So basically, in a sprint planning meeting, the technical members and everybody, the tech lead and the team, will discuss internally that what is the target of this sprint. Let's say if the sprint is of 1 week or 2 week, so what are the maximum goal we can achieve, what sort of features we will do in that sprint. Let's say you have 10 features to do, so is it possible to do on those 10 features in these 2 weeks? So you need to define everything in the sprint planning meeting, that what is your capabilities. Sprint planning is basically, we will discuss with our internal team members that what are the goals we need to achieve, and what are the features we are going to be in that sprint, and whether our team is capable or not, whether our team is ready to do that much of work. Everything is need to be discussed in the sprint planning meeting. Who is going to what, who is going to perform the job, whatever job is assigned, so who is going to do that. Let's say if you have a UI work, so who is going to take the UI work, who is going to get the server task, who is going to be the quality person. So everything is defined in sprint planning meeting. So what is the purpose of a sprint planning meeting? To define the sprint goal, to select product backlog item to work upon. So let's say product owner listed 20 features that we have to make in the project, but those 20 features are not going to be implemented in the single sprint. So for the first sprint, let's say your first sprint will be of 2 weeks. So for the first sprint, you'll have to decide what sort of features, you can do. So from the product backlog, which is listed by the product owner, you'll pick 3 or 4 features, whatever features you are capable to work upon. You'll pick that features and put it in the sprint. Okay. And now whatever the features you have selected from the product backlog, now you are ready to work on that feature. Okay. You'll have to decide how to break every features. I mean, if one features, let's say implementing OAuth technology, So you'll have to break down it, that what are the things we need to implement into it, how many peoples are required, what are the different technical skills members I have. So everything you have to define in the sprint planning meeting. Okay, now we have a sprint backlog. So just like a product backlog, we have a sprint backlog. Product backlog is the uh, basically a draft where everything about the product is written, how many features we need to develop, what is the exact requirement of the client, and what is going to be the overall project, what is the business strategy they were targeting, what is the goal of that project, everything. Similarly, in the sprint backlog, the smaller module of the product backlog is listed. Like if we are going to work on the three features from the product backlog, everything about that three features, who is going to work upon what are the technologies and things I required, what are the who are the team members going to work upon. So everything about that subset of that product backlog is going to be in the sprint backlog. Okay, so we select few items from the product backlog and put it inside the sprint backlog, and where everything is clear, that who is going to work on what feature, how many hours and how many uh, peoples are required to work for that project. Breakdown of every project into subtasks, like one features needs four members, so who are the members are going to work on what features, let's say front end feature, back end features, quality features. Everybody's task is clearly defined. Every task is broken down into subtasks, so that there is no chaos, no need to discuss the same thing every day. Everything will be organized in a manner where you can just go, read, and you know what to do, how to do, who is going to do, and what is be the our end project. Basically, what is going to be with us in the end of this sprint, what features we are going to implement. So everything is uh, implemented in the sprint backlog, so everybody will know who and how they are working on. Okay, now there is a designation in the agile methodology, which is basically a scrum master. So you can imagine a scrum master as a lead of this agile methodology. Basically, they'll be in touch with you, they communicate with you about what are the things you are working on, is your task completed or not, if you are requiring any other member to work with you, if you have any problems, uh, you are completing your work on time or not. So scrum master is someone who talks to you, communicate with you, and try to make your work not problematic. If you are feeling that pressure that no, I am not going to complete that feature in this particular time frame, you can discuss it with your scrum master. You can now, it's their responsibility, maybe they will assign one more member with you so that the task will be achieved. They will guide you that if you are failing your deadline, then what sort of practices you can perform to be on the track. So they will basically facilitate every scrum events, that what are the small things, everyday planning, everyday meeting, they'll talk to you what is the problem. If you are not be in the track, if you are on the track, what is your last work, what next you are going to do. So everything they will talk to you, they'll discuss you, so that the project implementation should be on time. Okay, you should be a time bounded. It means you don't just ignore that project, that so that due to your irresponsible behavior, that project might stretched out and not going to be on the time. So it will very problematic for whole the team. Okay, now it will also support the product owner, so that basically product owner communicate with the client and takes the external pressure. Now product owner communicate with the scrum master, that whether the task is going to be on the time or not, whether the features is developing or not, we are going to deliver the project on time or not. So everything they can communicate, they can discuss together, and this is how IT industry work. Okay, now what is daily stand up meeting? So daily stand up meeting means every day there is a 15 minute or 10 minutes meeting where every members in the team discuss what they did yesterday, what they are going to do today, and how they are going to plan to work on, what are their problems if they are working well. So what are their things they are keeping in mind. They can motivate others, they can help others in the team. You shouldn't have to be a problem creator, you should have to be the problem solver. So you have that skills to, you don't have to think about your job only, that I am completing my feature and that's it. You'll help your team, everybody, so that the whole project should be on time. So this is about daily stand-up meeting. Every day before the project, your day start and after your day ends in the company, there is a stand-up meeting where everybody will discuss what sort of work they did, how we are working on, they are doing this job or on time or not. If they have any problem, so they can also discuss it in the daily stand-up meeting, that I am having this kind of problem, and now if you want any help, then there are people to help you. So this is about daily stand-up meeting. Now, what is a sprint review? Sprint review means once the sprint is completed, once your task is done, okay, now every member assigned on multiple roles, doing multiple things, and completing their projects. Now, every member who are working on this sprint is done with their job. Let's say everybody is now done with their job. So once they are done with their job and the project is the feature is completed, now we have a sprint review. Means the product owner will come to you, see the demo, not theoretically, practically every API is working or not, different types of testing, so that no failure will happen while it is on the production environment, while it is being shown to the client. So everything is practically uh, described, that this particular feature is as per the expectation or not. Okay, you will have to show what you have built. Okay, you will have to show everything to the product owner or the tech lead or whoever is going to review your project, you review your task. You'll have to show everything, that this is the project, this is the target we are going to achieve, and here it is working as per the requirement after each testing and everything done. Okay, so this is basically sprint review. So once you are done with your job, you are ready to show the project what you have built to the client or the product owner. Basically we show it to the product owner, and after it finally approved by the product owner will now communicate with the stakeholders or the clients, and they will show that requirement, and now we have this feature done. Okay, now you can simply deploy it in the production and use it. Okay, so what is the purpose of a sprint review? Demonstrate completed work. Okay, get feedback from stakeholders, discuss what to build next, inspect progress towards the product goal. Everything is discussed. Okay, if whatever the project you build, whatever features you completed, maybe there might be some feedback from the stakeholders that this is not the way I want. I want to change this feature in some different manner. So now this is the feedback. You'll need to implement it. Okay. Now the most important is, once the feature is delivered to the client and you are done with your sprint one, let's say you have completed the one feature. Okay, and you are ready to show it to your client, and client is happy with your work. Okay, now the project one feature is ready and delivered to the client. Now we have sprint retrospective meeting. So what is basically sprint retrospective meeting is final scrum event in the sprint. It is held after the sprint review, where the scrum team reflects on how the sprint went and discusses ways to improve team process and collaborations. Basically it means once you're done with your sprint review, we create a sprint retrospective meeting where we discuss with each other what went right, what are the things we did uh, correctly, what went wrong, what we don't need to do, what what are the things we'll have to ignore, what are the motivations we have. Okay, so everything basically it is a kind of closure statement of this sprint where we discuss everything about happened in that stream, that sprint, whether the project is implemented well, what are the problems everybody faced, any member having any issues they can discuss, what went right, what went wrong in this sprint. Everything is discussed in sprint retrospective meeting. So you can think a sprint retrospective meeting as a final closure of a sprint. Basically, when we're done with the project, we'll start sprint retrospective meeting so that when we are going to do the next sprint, the things which went wrong, we keep it in our mind so that the failure won't be for every sprint, so that the problems that happens in the previous sprint will not carry forward to the next sprint. Okay, so that you'll be make a good team. So this is the final closure statement for members having a sprint retrospective meeting created. Okay, what are the purpose of this sprint retrospective? Inspect how the last sprint went in terms of people, process, tools, and communications. Okay, so whatever will be the last sprint, how it went for the people, it shouldn't be very hectic for the person as well. The process, how the process well, what are the tools we used, how we communicated with each other, what went well, what didn't went well, what can be improved. So these kind of things we'll discuss in the sprint retrospective meeting, so that day by day we, uh, we can improve ourselves, we can improve the product of the company, and whatever will be the service provided by the company, will improve that. And based on that, uh, it's good to discuss everything about what went right, what went wrong. So I think we discussed about product owner, product backlog, then a sprint planning meeting, then about the team, then a sprint backlog, then who is a scrum master, then what is daily scrum meeting, basically what is daily stand up meeting. Once your task is finished, then you'll have a sprint review, and then when one sprint is completed, then we'll have sprint retrospective meeting. So this is Agile, nowadays a very popular framework that is being used in the IT industry to develop a project. Okay, so in a one-liner, we can close this Agile methodologies. Agile is basically a time-boxed based iterative approach model to develop the software. Okay, so this is all about Agile methodologies. If you need this document, you can comment in my uh, channel, so I'll send it to you. Okay, or otherwise I'll share the link of drive link of this notes. You can get it and study whenever it is required, because I think in the interview, if you have made any project and if you can say that I worked for this project in this agile way, so it is good to have that. Okay, for company they'll also understand that if you have that understanding of agile methodologies, you are good to be in the team. Okay, now we have some project management tools using which we will work on agile methodologies. These are basically like Jira, Asana, Microsoft Planner. These are the project management tools which is being used in the company to follow the agile methodologies. Okay, okay guys, thanks for this. uh, we are done with the agile methodologies. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.